for you right now?
So right now, what I'm doing is just developing strategy and trying to get, I would say, a coalition of individuals together so that we can make an impact in the urban communities. One of the major things that we're trying to do is to get into HBCUs, historical Black colleges, develop chapters there, and we have a huge event that's going to that we've already planned out. It's already scheduled. People can apply for it. It's the Young Black Leadership Summit in DC, Washington, DC in October. So that's kind of the main focus right now. What I'm doing is just trying to get that summit together and prepare young people to inspire people all across the country.
Well, I want to send a crew to cover that because we're seeing with Candace Owens and you and Trump and everybody else double the number of Black American males supporting the president. I mean, this shows this real engagement could break the trance the Democratic Party has on people.
Yeah, I think it definitely will. I've already seen it. You know, it's funny that I met a young lady who works for a very, very liberal organization. She happened to be African American. And me and her sat in my living room and had a conversation. And literally, we had the exact same ideologies. I mean, not one thing that we discuss, we differ on. And this is the evolution of young African American people waking up to what the left is doing and actually trying to make a assertive effort to come together and say, what do we need to do to make this situation better as people, as Americans? And I mean, that's very exciting for me to see somebody on the opposite side actually have the same ideas.
It's incredible. You know, we see, though, the censorship taking place ahead of the 2018 elections. I want to talk about that when we come back as well. But I would imagine, I haven't ever asked you this question, but I would imagine that you've probably seen some attempts to dial back what you're doing.
Yeah, you talking about on social media?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Like you mentioned, the Twitter. You know, it's quite interesting that I post things on Twitter, and it just seems like certain things that I say, I don't know if it's trigger words for Twitter, it's literally censored. YouTube is killing. Every video I upload is demonetized automatically. And I had 2 videos completely taken off of YouTube, and then I'm banned from live streaming.
See, I knew it because everybody I talk to is happening. And look, I can get a little, little mean. I've watched your videos are as gentlemanly as it comes, and that's what they're scared of. We'll be right back with Brandon Tatum. Stay with us. Ladies and gentlemen, we are broadcasting worldwide. I am Alex Jones, your host. So much is going on here at the InfoWars News Center that I can't even keep track of half of it. I've had major Republican Party individuals send me the documents from Facebook. It appears they intend to basically ban us or completely shadow ban us on May 24th. And they're telling the Republican Party and others that they will no longer be able to access our public pages on Facebook that have millions and millions of likes. So what's happening is they're banning the Republican Party from being able to buy ads from Facebook to simply advertise voting, recruitment, events, races. This is so draconian. And, you know, we could make it about InfoWars. But since I learned about this yesterday, I made a couple other calls. And it's happening to other conservative and libertarian sites. So this is how the media does it. They'll demonize one conservative group and make up lies about them and try to get the others to not support them. Then they'll talk bad about this group and say, oh, don't support them. And then pretty soon they ban everybody. This is here. Now, Brandon Tatum has had videos with 60, 70, 80, 100 million views individually. But as soon as he exploded last year as a SWAT team a police officer who was also moonlighting as somebody just speaking out for the First Amendment, suddenly he was having his videos banned, blocked. They were getting 100,000 views. That's what they're doing to everybody. This is draconian. It's everywhere. And we have Twitter employees admitting to censoring conservatives, banning them for political reasons. It's going on. It's happening. And even, you know, Ben Shapiro's Daily Wire talks about that. Ben should come out against it. Because if we don't hang together, we're going to hang separate. And Brandon Tatum's here with us, and I want to get into a bunch of issues with him. Candace Owens, and she's part of Turning Point USA, and he's part of that as well, the director of urban engagement and the exciting things that are happening. But if we can't tell you about the exciting things that are happening, if we're putting an electronic ghetto then what comes next? So just recount for us the positive things that are happening, what you see happening in communities all across the nation, and where you see this going, but also the fight to be able to continue to reach out with this message of hope and prosperity that President Trump and you and others are promoting.
Yeah, I'm seeing a real awakening. I mean, this is not a game. This is not propaganda. Like, I have communicated with people that are historically on the left, and they can see that there's a need for a change. A lot of things that I've seen are something that's major to me as far as party shift is that I think people don't look at Donald Trump as a Republican. People don't see Donald Trump as a politician. They see Donald Trump for who he is and what he stands for. And as America can see, we voted him in, and he's doing exactly what he said he was going to do. So I think that inspires people on both sides. And I've talked to people that's in L.A., in the hood, and they tell me the same thing, that they need to change. They're tired of the Democrats running their city and ruining their cities. You know, like I said, I talked to the young lady from another organization that's like Turning Point, and I'm not going to say the organization because I don't want to throw her out there, but, you know, she's from an opposing organization, but she see the same thing. We talked about Barack Obama. We talked about the problems in disenfranchisement in the Black communities. And this is a real thing, and I think people should take it serious. And I think we should continue to fight and continue to post things and continue to share content on our platforms from other people who we respect. This show, I respect it a lot. I love it. I tell everybody about the Alex Jones show. So I think that we got to continue to do that. I mean, until they change, we cannot back down. We cannot give up. We cannot be cowardice in this situation. And I know that my stuff has been censored, which makes me mad. I mean, personally, I feel personal when they delete videos that I've worked so hard to produce, and I know there's going to be an impact. But we got to just keep sharing each other's content and keep putting it out there and try to do our best to be in the streets and meet people where they are, like physically going and doing speeches and stuff, which is what I want to do. And I think we'll continue to be successful.
Separate from that, here you are, you know, smart, articulate, handsome American, and just who happens to be Black. And you're out there doing this great work. You're popular with the real people. And then there's Spike Lee and everybody, and Snoop Dogg injecting the most vicious hate, calling that, this is Spike Lee when he's winning this big award for his new movie, which I'm sure the movie's probably good. I'm sure the message is fine. My issue is with what he's doing now. That mother effer was given a chance to say, we're about love and not hate. Well, that's what Trump's been doing. And that mother effer did not denounce that mother effing Klan. He like 50 times he did. They kept saying denounce, and the alt-right and that Nazi mother effers. No, he said the alt-right was bad at Charlottesville. He said Antifa also is just as bad and is a horrible, nasty, evil group as well. The media lied, and Spike Lee's not stupid. Snoop Dogg's not stupid. I mean, he used to be friends with Trump. They all know Trump's a good guy. So now Hollywood wants this, the Democrats want this, and they're out there promoting the real hate here, the real division, in my view. What's your view on that?
Well, it's a tribe-like mentality. Unfortunately, culturally, this is what happens. Spike Lee has to come out and say that. If Spike Lee was to be honest and identify with the successes of Donald Trump, he will literally be, you know, thrown out of the community. No one would want to watch his movies. They'll call him an Uncle Tom and a sellout. So with that mentality, it's very difficult for people who don't have a strong spine to come out and tell the truth. Snoop Dogg, they want to sell records. They want to be in the in crowd in the Black community. And to be honest, the people who are in Charlottesville, they know what the truth is. The people who are living in these Democrat-run cities, who are unemployed and homeless, they know what it is. Those are the individuals that go to these rallies. Those are the individuals that go out and vote. So I'm disappointed in Spike Lee. I'm disappointed in Snoop Dogg and these other people who I would consider to be cowards. I'm disappointed in their approach because they're killing the minds of young people who would otherwise be more successful. But I'm telling you this, it is going to change. The tide is going to turn. They can only talk stupid and make up lies and be emotional for only so long before the facts are revealed and people start really changing.
Well, I mean, I happen to have studied Trump, and he's well known 40 plus years ago, actually bringing in Black promoters, everybody, and for the first time treating them good when the other hotel owners and people wouldn't. He's the first guy to buy up all these weird racist country clubs and then open them up. I mean, he was hated when he took over Mar-a-Lago and opened it up to Jews and blacks and everybody else. Trump's famous. That's why all the rappers loved him. And the way they all know him, a lot of them have stayed at his house. A lot of them have been out on his boat with him. They know how much Trump likes everybody. And the fact that they treat him like that shows that they're beyond just race pimps. They are evil deceivers, in my view.
It's backfiring on them. I'm telling you, these individual people can see. They've been there. They went to the rallies. And the mainstream tells you one thing, and they have their polls and everything. They suggest one thing, but the voters come out and do something different. And I'm telling you, as sure as I'm sitting here, is that it's going to be a change. There's a lot of people that do not agree with these mainstream folks. And when voting time comes, when 2020 comes around, we're going to see a landslide in voting. They just cannot verbalize it right now because they'll be shunned. But, you know, I think the cream rises to the top. Donald Trump should have never been president with all the stuff that they did against him and all of the above. But see, he's the cream of the crop and he will rise to the top. And I'll say this one thing. I watched him at that ceremony where that young lady got killed, that police officer, and he was holding hands with her 90-year-old grandmother. And with all of these people showing so much love, literally, I started tearing up because of how genuine that man is. And the world can see that. And we're going to start, and people are going to start exercising what they see and not what they hear.
Wow, man, you're really making me get tears in my eyes because I can feel it spiritually, this evil spirit of us hating each other and being all afraid. And Trump is, and we together, we're breaking that spirit right now.
Yes, we are. We are. One person at a time, one video at a time, one dedicated segment at a time. We're going to change it. And as long as we keep our faith in God and keep praying, we're going to make it happen. And it's going to happen not because we want our party to win, but it's because this is what's right. This is what's best for this country.
That's right. And a bunch of the Republican blue bloods, they're getting pushed aside as well. The truth is coming out, and no amount of lies from Hillary Clinton or Spike Lee or Michael Moore are going to work. We'll be back to talk about how we get on the offense.
We have a guy in the White House. I'm not going to say his name. It was a defining moment. It was not just for Americans, for the world. And that mother was given a chance to say, we're about love and not hate. And that mother did not denounce the mother Klan, the alt-right, and those Nazi mother. It was a defining moment, and he could have said to the world, not the United States, that we were better than that. The so-called mother cradle democracy, that's some bullshit. United States of America was built upon the genocide of Native people and slavery. That is the fabric of the United States of America. As my Brooklyn brother Jay-Z would say, facts. I was given Susan Bro's phone number.
All right, that's enough. I shouldn't even waste time playing that. But like, there's slavery going on in 7 Muslim nations right now. No one's saying evil didn't go on everywhere. No one's saying it's good, but just living it constantly. That's what Kanye West was saying. It shouldn't be our identity. And then it shouldn't be George Soros and Hollywood promoting it. It's in the WikiLeaks to keep us at each other's throats. But people like Brandon Tatum, with Turning Point USA, he's the director of urban engagement. Earlier, for people that just joined us, we are breaking the trance. Give us your report, sir, of traveling around the country, you're going to these big black colleges, what you're seeing there.
Yeah, we're in the works of getting into these colleges. I spoke at Texas State, and right now it's a struggle, you know, because when I spoke at Texas State, we invited Black Lives Matter, we invited all these other groups that are Afrocentric, and they were too afraid to show up. And so we're going to try to do our best to get into these HBCUs, which is our plan moving forward. I know for a fact we're going to have adversity because people like Spike Lee, and I'm not saying this is all black people like Spike Lee are too cowardice to have a real conversation. If I used to have respect for Spike Lee, and if I saw him face to face today, I'll tell him he's a coward in his face, because what he's saying is despicable. It is embarrassing because the whole world is looking at African-American people and they seeing an idiot like him say what he said. Listen, When you're talking about something that happened 100 years ago, you're so distraught as a millionaire in America and you don't leave. And then you turn around and there's people gunning young black people down in our own communities. There's drug dealers selling our young people drugs. I got family members who are on drugs right now. I know how it has ruined our family. People are in prison. You know, and this guy is talking about Donald Trump. People in the hood, people in these communities that he's trying to represent, they're not worrying about Donald Trump. They're not worrying about what the news is saying. They're worrying about picking up dead young people off the street every day.
I was about to say, as a former police officer and SWAT officer, I mean, what, 2,000 black people die a year in Chicago, thousands more injured, never a word from the liberals. I mean, why is it everywhere liberals run it, rich white liberals mainly, that there's such death and destruction? And then Spike Lee and people like, you know, all those folks, Michael Moore, they've all got bodyguards. But then poor people, they say, can't have bodyguards.
Well, you know, it's hypocrisy, because they not only pay money for bodyguards, if they get in trouble and they go to court, they have a whole team of attorneys that can support them. They're not getting an appointed person. You know, they have a whole bunch of things that give them advantages in this country that they refuse to give back. I'll tell you this for a matter of fact, African-American people in this country need to stop worrying about and focusing on the government. We have enough economic wealth. If they put all the black people together in America, we'll be like the top 15 richest country in the world. We have enough economic wealth as individuals that if we came back and put that money into our communities, if we built our own schools, if we put books into our own schools, if we had programs that help young black people in our own communities, all of these black churches in these communities, we could have our own economy. But see, people like Spike Lee, they want to make all this money off the backs of black people and then turn around and point the finger at the government. It just makes me so mad, and I wish these things will change. Myself, Candace Owens, Turning Point USA, we are going to do our best to be a part of the change. Obviously, you too, Alex. I know that you're heavily involved, and you want to be more involved in this stuff. And I know that you'll be active. But we're all together. We have to do our best at changing this narrative. These people are suckers. Spike Lee is a sucker, and any one of these people that get out and talk like him, I'll tell them to their face.
Well, he knows, Michael Moore, all these guys behind the scenes, some people that know him, these liberal elites know it's a game plan. It's in the WikiLeaks that they're going out to stir up cultural division. That's what they call it.
Man, Donald Trump said 1 million times that he disavowed these people. He said it 1 million times. He said it the day of. He said it when they tried to confront him and said he didn't say it fast enough. I don't know what other way can he say that he disavowed these people and that all evil in America, this is what they want, Alex. This is what they want him to say. They want him to say white people are bad. They don't want him to say evil is wrong, no matter where it's coming from. They want him to focus on white people. And those are the things that they try to, you know, say behind the scenes and not be. By
the way, then they found 2 videos of him on TV 20 plus years ago denouncing Duke without anyone even asking him to.
The man is not a racist. I don't understand how they think he's a racist and, you know, anti-Semitic. I don't understand how a person with a connection or connected brainstem can come to that conclusion with all of the things that he's done. I'll tell you this, you cannot be that successful and that wide of a range. You cannot get more of the black vote than any other Republican candidate that have run for the presidency in the last few years if you are a blatant racist. This man is trying to fix DACA, something that Obama would never try to do. This man is focusing on the black community, something that Obama would never do. This man is open to all people. He wants America to become great. He's not saying I want white people to be great again. He said America, lowering taxes.
And that's my last question for you, and I hope you can come back for a full hour soon and take calls. How do people get involved to help what you're doing? You're actually going out in the community. You're actually going into these universities that have been totally brainwashed, you know, these factories of division, and you're actually bringing the real message of Martin Luther King back into these communities.
Yeah, so I think if people want to directly contact me, I have an email. It's brandon.tatum@tpusa.com. Go to my email me. Let me know if you want to get involved. Let me know what city you're in. If you have something going on in the city, you need me or Candace or somebody to come and us to facilitate growth there or for us to do certain things. I mean, we're open to it. I mean, that's our whole mission, is to go out and reach America. And I think that the African Americans in this country really need a lot of help. And I think myself and Candace can be good advocates. But that's for the bigger picture. We want to help African Americans because when African Americans do well, the rest of the country does well. And I don't want to think people think it's all about black people. It's not. These people.
No, but the Democrats think that they own black people, and then Republicans just get stared and just stand back and let the Democrats do whatever they want, and it's time to say no.
Right, exactly, 100%. This is a new day, a new age. We're not going to dwell on the past. We're going to focus on our future, and we're going to do everything that we can, as long as we're breathing on this earth, to make things better.
Amazing. Brandon Tatum, again, we appreciate the great work you're doing. Look forward to having you back, and look forward to having our crew go cover this amazing conference you've got coming up as well. God bless you, my friend. We're watching your great work. You really do inspire us.